How's it going? In this video I want to highlight some of the latest developments with Bitjoin, which should have been destroyed by now. And I want to provide some clarity on the future of Indikin and the B250. First of all, I want to say big thanks to Left House and Richard's brother for the excellent reportage from Consensus in Austin, Texas, our first cross-border collaboration and a fine documentation of the current state of crypto, with a solid and honest nod to the Pulse Chain community. I really appreciated the cooperation together. The production even got me more confident about the idea of collaborative filmmaking with a DeFi-enabled cohort. Props to the awesome editing by Left House and the exceptional reportage by Richard's brother. Go and watch Pulse of Consensus on YouTube now and follow both Left House and Richard's brother if you haven't yet. In other news, the Indikin Generation series is coming along nicely. I recently shot some in Italy and on the island of Sardinia, which I'm somewhat confident will make sense in the overarching storyline. I've just 4 scenes left to shoot now that will see the completion of production sometime in September, I hope. In addition to that, I'm looking for a game designer developer to help me realize the choose your own adventure aspect of the series, where when holding Tom's G'day token, it will allow viewers to choose the path of the storyline, where Tom goes, who he meets, etc. So check out the recent blog post on bitjoinstudios.com for more on that. And finally, the Indikin project. Tom, how's it going? No, I'm not going to tell them I got caught up in a fucking MLM. Yeah, well, these things happen. Nothing was lost apart from hopes and dreams. No, I don't have a reputation, so it's no drama. You do? Yeah, I'm actually recording right now, so I'm gonna do a little bit about your idea on the ETF meme coin thing. Yeah, I'll bring it up. No, I'm curious to see if it can work out as well. Alright, cheers, Tom. See you, bud. And finally, the Indikin project. So, I just returned from a week in northern Sweden where, together with 2 splendid chaps, Exiled Surfer and Alan Radi, we spent time on what I thought would result in the formation of the Indikin founding team, but it actually sent me right back to the drawing board. I put the cart before the horse. Given I've spent the past 2.5 years in R&D basically trying to crack Indikin, previously known as Bitjoinery, I figured if I could only find the solution to the best tokenomics model for incentivizing participation from all the stakeholders within a filmmaking ecosystem, the product would sell itself. However, in doing so, I neglected important prior steps for forming a crypto community, which is essential to the birth of any solid Web3 ecosystem long term. I got so caught up in the vision and how to make it a reality on the tech and incentive design side, I did not see the wood for the trees, and I got way ahead of myself thinking if only I could build it, they would come. I found comfort in reveling in the vision, and indeed, many people smarter than myself seem to have also seen potential in the vision for Indikin. I think this gave me a false sense of security as I began to believe that what I had put together in the Indikin white paper was what needed to be built immediately. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not entirely delusional. One always has one's doubts, and I could never truly know what people think, only that I was happy that they saw something in the idea and they wanted to support it. One of the biggest discussions in crypto over recent years has been traditional VC and even so-called crypto VC funded startups versus grassroots community-orientated funding. True DeFi crypto communities tend to believe there is no place for what they see as VC-backed pump and dumps, and while I tend to agree, I think most retail investors don't care. They see opportunity wherever it might be headlining that particular day of the week. So I decided early on Indikin would take financial backing wherever it may arise. Indeed, I spent a lot of time pursuing crypto VC funds for investment, and while things didn't work out, deep down I sort of wholeheartedly couldn't really commit to that path. I could never really fully convince myself it was the right way to go, no matter how many doors were opened and later on ultimately slammed in my face.
And I didn't land here, I drove up here. That's the funniest part.
So during the past week, this deep down personal doubt and VC backing was made abundantly clear to me and solidified as I spent time with Exiled and Alan. Alan firmly planted at the VC end and Exiled explicitly rooted in the crypto cypherpunk ethos. Having been working almost entirely alone the past 2 years, I found comfort in not having to decide which end of the spectrum I wanted to commit to. I recalled how in my previous startup Quids I wanted to avoid crowdfunding in favor of a single investor because I didn't want to embrace the chaos that is managing hundreds, maybe thousands of retail investors. To me, it sounded like a nightmare waiting to happen. Not because I didn't believe in the product, but because people are people. You know, they're impatient, delusional, ill-informed, and the herd mentality can quickly infect a product narrative and so destroy years of hard work before you even get to market. So together with Alan and Exiled over numerous conversations, I found it difficult to decide on one funding method over the other. However, as the days passed, it became clear that a product such as Indikin, if wanting to be long-term viable, and assuming it can navigate all the turmoil that is bound to happen in the early phases, it would need to start with the very people it is looking to empower, and not the people that repeatedly show themselves to extract value at the first opportunity. In the Indikin white paper, I wanted to describe the design of how I believe the Indikin ecosystem could create value for all participants, but there was always a missing component that I could never quite get a grip of. That is the film funding pool and how it could be best implemented to guarantee there would always be capital available to creators and filmmakers. This important component of the ecosystem and how I imagined it is beginning to come into focus via my current documentary production, Degen Generation. After spending a lot of time with developers, meme coin communities, and DeFi speculators, I came across several projects I began to see as in combination having the potential solution to the sustainability of the film funding pool conundrum. That potential solution, which I would soon like to test, is essentially a dedicated meme coin ETF that piggybacks on a phenomenon called liquidity bonded amplification, managed by automated arbitrage bots that help redistribute and stabilize the various liquidity pair token price found within the ETF. A path forward for testing this could be to create an ecosystem stablecoin pegged to a well-established token that initially pairs to 5 meme coin projects, ideally with bigger IP product ambitions, namely films, and together leverage these 5 initial meme coin communities to bring their meme coin marketing game to the benefit of each other's projects. As usual, platform fees can be delivered back to liquidity providers as well as towards shared film funding pool. This pool could then provide a type of basic income to participants that work towards various film productions that are made using the ecosystem's talent and tools. And in doing so, take part ownership over future revenues generated by those film productions and any ancillary products. There are various open source softwares that can already deliver such valuable features without a native ecosystem token. However, they don't appear to allow for liquidity providers to speculate on a given meme coin's potential to moon, and so make it difficult to embrace the already established behavior inherent to DeFi communities. That is, new coins to speculate on with potential for bonus shared revenue features. Many projects in Web3 and so the DeFi conversation are extremely tech orientated and put a lot of emphasis on the apparent revolutionary aspects afforded by blockchains. I'm guilty of the same, but as we have seen most recently, meme coins are taking the cake and are super easy to understand. Get in early, hold on, join the pump marketing spectacle, spread your bets wide, and exit once satisfied with your gains. The majority of people speculating in this space know the risks, and so they treat it as a casino. To them, it's the thrill of rolling the dice, right? But many users I have spoken to on the production of Degen Generation appear to have grown somewhat bored in simply siphoning off profits from retail and are actively looking for ways to give back or contribute to something with a grander vision. Don't get me wrong, these speculators will always prioritize profits first, but to be able to pitch them on an additional profit incentive via co-ownership of film revenues within a DeFi protocol, I believe is not a big ask, as it is they who decide their risk appetite for any additional paths of financial return. So in conclusion, if there's only one thing I take away from this past week with Alan and Exiled, it's that while I believe I have a good understanding of the landscape in which I'm attempting to bring value, I have to learn to embrace the community as they are, and all the realities that come with that engagement. I see now that I've spent too much time thinking I can bring the value polished and ready to use, and that I can be the hero that the community maybe doesn't want but needs. I believe that product came first and that I shouldn't or wouldn't make any promises until there was something of substance. Now, outside of the spray and pray marketing that I've been using to attempt to get in front of what I believe are the most willing participants, jostling between Web 2-centric filmmakers and creators and the Web 3 DeFi degen speculators, I lost my way. And now see that the way forward is to embrace those people that have seen some value on my proposal for Indikin but need a solid leg up into an organization that values them from day one. So with all this in mind, I'm now drafting a more detailed roadmap where I propose a two-pronged approach, essentially designed to bring talent and capital together in harmony. So one, dedicated Bitjoin Studios creative cohort, just like the B250, and two, an Aussie-themed meme coin ETF to power a film funding pool for the cohort, just like Indikin film funding pool was intended to do. Stay tuned to the Bitjoin Studios Discord or Telegram channel, or drop an email at bitjoinstudios.com to get notified when this more detailed roadmap is published. Thanks for sticking around.